Welcome everybody to the Logic Bomb podcast. We have some fun stuff to talk about today. The new map went into the test server. We're going to be talking about that. We want to talk a little bit about LMGs. Give our thoughts on, is it a problem? Do they need nerfed? What will we do? Go into a little bit of depth with that. First week of EUL and NAL is in the books, so we'll talk about that, as well as APAC, the other regions as well. But I haven't gotten a chance. Yeah, I haven't got a chance to check that out. But yeah, let's get into it. I guess first of all, Jess, you just got back from a Valorant event, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure that went well, and happy to be back home. But
thank you.
I'm busy, right?
Unfortunately so, which is why people are probably wondering why sometimes the Logic Bomb podcast happens, sometimes it doesn't, everything like that. Unfortunately, with my upcoming bookings, things get really hectic. And I know Alex also has a wonder dog now. It's like, those movies about the dogs that are super cool and stuff like that. So now he has to go film army bomb scenes with the dog running through it like, a master dog or something. So that's what he has to do with his dog. So hence the time changes in the rescheduling. Oh, he's gonna be a movie dog now. Famous. That's it.
No, he's mine.
Yeah, I mean, we're all pretty busy. I'm probably, which is crazy, the least busy right now in the sense that I have the most flexibility. But at the end of the day, I mean, real talk, like the Logic Bomb is something that we all enjoy, but it's like a passion project for us. You know what I mean? Like we all get the majority of our income elsewhere, and that comes first. So
we get no income for Logic Bomb.
Exactly. We want to be here. We want to talk every week, but we're going to be flexible with each other as far as making sure that our priorities are in check. And I mean, there'll be times Jess not available. Maybe me and Zeronica will bring on a guest and do it or whatever, and then me. Yeah, same goes for me. So that stuff happens, but at the end of the day, we're glad to be here now, and it's an interesting time to be in Siege because we got to play the first new map in Siege for 3 years. In 3 years.
3 years. Has it been 3 years?
Yes. Burnt Horizon, year 4, season 1, right?
Okay.
Or was that year?
And when you say got to play, what you really mean is there was a slight chance that you might play it.
Hey, I love custom games, guys. You guys don't have enough friends to run 10 minutes? Oh my god, that's on you loners. Oh, wow.
I do not, and I don't think it's like they can't defend it. They just can't.
Yeah.
Why the hell?
All right,
you launch it on test server and not just force it as the only map you can play.
Guys,
I'm a separate mode.
I'm going to be on your side, but let me just throw out because I thought so hard about I need to know the part about it that frustrates me the most is what if nobody thought of it? What does that mean? What if nobody thought about? What if the thought never crossed anybody's mind? Like, hey, should we make the test server new map only? What does that say? But here's what I'm thinking. Maybe they were testing is that they could throw a new map into the rotation and that the rotation worked properly and that the map selection and that the increased selection rate, because that map, to be fair, did have an increased selection rate amongst the map pool. So is it possible that they were testing that function and wanted to make sure that it was all? That's the only thing I can possibly think of.
For the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay, so even if that was it, that can't possibly be as important as getting people to actually play the map.
I know.
I will though say, like I jumped in just solo and custom game running around the map to try and get to learn it. I'm pissed it wasn't in T-Hunt so we could have the infinite ammo. I don't care about the bots being there. But destroying that map, I just gave up. Like normally I destroy all soft breaches, all floor, everything. And you can't do it in custom. Like, I don't have enough ammo.
Correct, yeah.
I
had to get my friends in with me, which was very
I don't have any, so I can't do that.
That's true. Yeah, we forgot. Yeah.
But no, like I don't get it. I played that map for 35 minutes and went, okay, cool. Like, I'm not gonna sit and wait in a 7-minute queue to maybe get the map. No way.
I spent one day on stream trying to get it. Played, I think, maybe 2 matches on it, and haven't gone back since. And I realized at this point that the test server, or at least it was for the last few days, they did change it. But I mean, I don't know, man. I'm really disappointed in that. I'll just say it. I'm just really disappointed that they either made the decision or didn't think about the fact that the test server was going to have every other map in it, and that was literally the only reason that people were going to be there.
Why else were they there? Because everything else is blocked off, so you can't do shit on the test server to begin with. So if you're going to have this one section open upon which you're forcing me to download another 50 gigabytes or whatever it damn is these days to have this extra part of the game, why? If I could just play that fucking map on the live server pretty much identically. The only thing I am clearly there for is that new map. What else are you there for if not that? That's what spooks me the most, is if they're testing things about the rotation and stuff like that. Okay, no problems. Test it for a day or two. But if I commit to downloading your stupid extra thing, then you need to give me a stupid reason to do it. And the stupid reason is only that map. That's it.
I mean, there's not enough incentive, which means there's not enough people playing, which means the queue times become too long, even for the people that really want to. Right? So I just don't get what the point is. And on top of that, the map was pushed out way too early. There's way too many small little weird bugs on it where you can clip through walls and things that should have been caught in QA before we even got to try it. You shouldn't be able to climb around on the skylight. Like, that took 5 minutes of climbing up on the roof and then messing about, and now you can stand on the railings up in the top of the skylight. All of that should have been tested before and cut off.
Off topic of the new map, have you guys ever noticed that you clip through on Clubhouse Garage Rafters, that you clip through the second panel? Have you guys ever?
I've always noticed multiple clips.
So that's just not gonna ever get fixed, right? Like, because I've noticed that.
No, I assume that's gonna get fixed. An even bigger issue, to be honest, is your shadow clips through.
Yeah,
so maybe that's what I'm seeing.
Nope. You're seeing the body clip through because you can shoot it as well when people clip through, but it's only when you press yourself up against the wall. It happens on most staircases as well.
That's been like that since the rework, right?
Yeah, I think it was even on old Clubhouse every now and then as well. Like, clipping happens on a lot of spots.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go. I was just thinking about that the other day. It's like, that's been in the game for a long time. Like, do I need to go on R6 fix? Am I assuming too much here that that's a well-known problem? Do I need to go on R6 fix?
It should be known because we've seen it in comp.
Yeah, I know. And it's not really that big of a problem because usually there's so much information for Garage that you know where a person is up there. It's a matter of getting to them.
And you can see the shadow underneath the railing.
So
if there's ever anyone there, you can just look at the shadow changes. So if you run your shadows over medium, you can literally, without ever checking the rafters, you can just quickly scan underneath and you can see how many are there.
Yeah.
That probably shouldn't be a thing.
You have to remember as well is that we also, like, there's been things in the game that have been in the game for a long time. Clipping is a huge one of them, which I will say they've fixed a lot of on big problem areas like Villa and stuff like that, yada yada. But I think these are all things that have always existed. But what has given me the biggest pet peeve going into this season, I love this season. I'm very much enjoying playing ranked. I'm even solo queuing, which I hate, but I'm doing it because I'm actually enjoying the gameplay enough to do it. Is that I play 4-3. I will never switch off 4-3. I'm not someone who will switch off 4-3. I'm a boomer now. I'm only getting older. I'm not getting younger. That's just the facts of it. So if I'm going to play 4-3, why? Ever since the first day of the test server, and I reported that the overlay had issues with 4-3 stretching everything off the screen. And that was an issue from day number one. Then it never got fixed on the test server, and I assumed after pointing it out and multiple of the community pointing it out, it would be fixed going into live build. It is still, how long has this been out now? It is still, I can't see who owns the drone. I can't see my first two attackers in their attacker repick cycle. I can't see any part of the left-hand side of my screen at all. This is, to me, it's like, I don't know about programming, so I'm not going to assume to know, but that kind of seems like an easy fix. And if it's being pointed out and people literally can't see their screens, like, that's so frustrating. Like, how many times? Like,
I think the one thing that makes that annoying is that they changed from, I think they were running Flash before that to run the HUD, and then they changed to their own own system, which hilariously enough is called Phoenix, which is a little awkward when that's also one of the sketchy things a lot of people use.
Yeah.
But the fact that this new system isn't made to adapt to aspect ratio changes from the ground up seems like a bit of a potato oversight.
Yeah.
How did
I'm not
no one just
sure
open
how.
it up in 4.3? Like, why didn't they check every aspect ratio and go, yeah,
I refuse to
everything
believe that
fits?
they didn't QA it on aspect ratios. They must have tested and then just
Yeah.
went low priority because
Sure.
it's
Sure.
4% that do it or something,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
it's annoying as all hell. I play 4.3 as well again now,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it only sits correct on 16.9.
Does it? Okay.
I think everything else has some sort of weird offset with it. That goes with the crosshair as well. I don't know, Flink, if you
Oh, yeah?
remember, if we go far enough back, when they changed from the 3D crosshair, or from the
Yes.
2D crosshair to the 3D one, I had that picture I shared with how sharp the crosshair used to be.
Oh,
And it's the same both on the new one and on Vulcan. It used to have no smoothing, no nothing, but now
I
because
had to
it's
give
a
up Vulcan.
3D up. Yeah, I don't use Vulcan either, but it's still smushy as all hell on DirectX now compared to what it used to be. And I don't get why there has to be some aliasing BS over a crosshair. It doesn't need to look pretty or realistic. It
Yeah.
needs to be sharp so we can see what we're doing.
Correct.
And
There needs to
the
be a
funny
point
thing,
on the point in my ACOG.
Yeah.
That's it.
and a lot of people saying, there was nothing wrong with it. They couldn't see it. If
No, it
my
was
old ass can see that, then it's there.
it was definitely there.
Yeah, I mean, I still have the picture of it to compare, and it's quite drastic how big the difference is.
Another thing with that you know, while we're on pet peeves as far as bugs, the bug that exists where Siege still stays up in the background after you close it. That has been in the game
Right.
for over a year now. And
And
granted,
you're
Yeah,
always
it-
wondering why you have 100 CPU. You're like, what?
yeah,
it comes and goes though
Yep.
with patches.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, but I think it has something to do with anti-cheat. I would assume so.
maybe.
reckon?
And now
why would
what's
the process be so hard to close?
What's new now is that your cursor will stay up in the left-hand
Yes.
corner of your screen after
Yeah.
you close the game. Sometime, and then that tells you when if it actually finally closes or not. Because if it stays there forever, that means the game's still open. So thanks for the indicator, I guess. But
I mean, okay, quick tip for everyone on PC. Control, Shift, Escape, Task Manager, close process, done.
yes,
You're
right.
Why do I
Like-
have to go through so many steps to close the fucking game?
No,
if I go to
but-
settings and exit to like, that's
Well,
it.
if
That's
you
the
have the
exit.
problem, instead of going on Twitter and saying that, oh my god, when I close the game, I can't do anything, my cursor's locked, I'm screwed. At least that's a fix.
Yeah.
Then you can go on TikTok after or whatever you're doing, right? But it can be fixed very, very quickly when closing it, but I just don't get why it's happening.
And why, like, okay, I only worked on hardware in the army and stuff like that, so I have no idea about a lot of software issues. But like, why top left of the screen is it like stuck? Like, were you trying to move it, but it's
Zero.
just stuck?
0.
Like what?
Your mouse has coordinates on your
Oh.
screen,
So
which
it's
is
just
resets.
okay.
I think I don't know. I think the window like minimizes or something and sticks up there because if you
Yeah.
Control Shift Escape, you get complete control over your cursor again. So
It is
I have no
bizarre.
idea what's. Yeah, it's a weird bug.
So I don't want to like overstate this too much, but like, what if you by some chance were playing Rainbow Six Siege for the first time and you know, like, hey, Rainbow Six Siege is a 7-year-old, it's going into year 7, been around for a while, and then you had that happen to you, wouldn't you assume that it's been that way forever? Or would you have something in your head like, oh, maybe that's a new bug? Either way, I wouldn't have a great impression of it. It's bizarre. It's just bizarre to me.
I don't know if I'd care because if like I've tried to jump into plenty of games and then all of a sudden there's a crash. I don't assume that crash is like a thing that has been happening since release. Like it sucks when that happens, but like if you close your game, you're already done playing.
Yeah.
Right? Like
It's an issue for 10 seconds to me. I just wait
Yeah,
10
it's
seconds,
such a
I get my
small
mouse
thing.
back. Like I don't care that much about it. And honestly, I laugh about it because my friends and I, when we're done, they're like, all right, we're done, no more games. They're like, oh, I can't leave the Discord, guys. Give me a second. My mouse is stuck.
Yeah,
and
that's
we
the
have
most
a laugh
awkward.
about it. Yeah, it's when you're like,
when you
"See
close the
you
game, you want to
guys,"
stop
and
the
everyone's
stream.
like,
You close the game, you want to stop the stream, you're like, oh, not yet.
So usually whenever I log off of Siege though, I need some like immediate encouragement. So I'm trying to get to like funny YouTube videos or something. So having to wait that extra period of time really destroys my mental. Because I
get flanked. What rank you this season? What rank you this season?
Gold 1, plat 3. Oh, okay. So
You're in the trenches.
I won 9 out of 10 of my placements and got placed plat 1. Okay.
Oh, you're down bad.
Now I got placed plat 1 and then proceeded to lose 5 straight. Okay. 5 straight after the placements. Went 9 and 10. It was like the game was like, nah, flanked. This is not happening. You're gonna now. So yeah, it's been an interesting season, but well.
It's been fun. Even the matches I've lost, I've actually had fun.
It has been. It's really fun to play Siege right now. Speaking of which,
games are really good.
Let's talk about.
That's true.
What do you think about the new map? I mean, I know that the test server was botched. Blah blah blah. Do you have any opinions about it? Have you gotten to experiment enough to where? Okay, let's hear it.
So I broke it all down, did the whole custom-y thing, and broke it all down site by site. I want to preface this by saying I think the map is beautiful. I do think it's a beautiful map. I love beautiful maps. Tower was beautiful, but it's crap. So see where I'm heading with this. Why on earth, after we already know the trials and tribulations of a meeting like attack where you jump in, plant, you jump out a window, or you have the opportunity for the site to be smack bang accessible straight to the outside. We've already had a multitude of issues with maps that allow for this. How on earth am I, as an attacker, not just going to CEO meeting window, of which, if you don't know, it's like the little castly jut out bit with the singular soft wall next to waiting room, and I jump in, I freaking plant, because guess what? There's an obnoxious chair in front of you and desk as well. So you need to obviously destroy that as a defender before you go off and do other things. And then I just plant there, of which if I want to play vertical below, there's also another barricade door accessible to the attackers right outside with a long angle on you. So if you want to C4 and play vertically, I mean, like, didn't they say they wanted this to be a competitive map? Why on earth am I an attacker going up or rappelling up onto a ladder and going, oh, there's the side, plant, get out, oh, now where are you going to get us from? Like, I don't like that at all. I don't. Remember when we spoke about Villa being like, you need to take at least one power position before you made it to the site 9 times out of 10? Like, that was the key part of, like, taking map control. Now you don't take map control. Like, think about gallery, for example. You rappel in, plant on the hard floor, and also the thing that juts out covers you from the left as well on that window, and then you just rappel out. I'm like, who thought of these places?
So
is that big of a problem on other maps? Like Clubhouse, for example, CC and Gym. Like, does it really happen that often?
I mean, jumping out, you have to jump out. You have to jump out to stop the people out there is my problem with it. It's not that you can do it.
Well,
it's that you have to respond to that situation once it's already been done. Doesn't seem like there's really been any power positions taken, and therefore power positions which can be retaken. You can't retake outside as a defender.
No, but you're assuming that they get to plant. That no one stops that, right?
Correct. And if you don't stop that, you should be punished. But that happens in every map anyway. You should be punished if you can't stop the plant.
Yeah, I don't think the from outside and walking in plant is necessarily that bad of a thing. Like, you have it on Consulate, you have it on Clubhouse, you have it on the most Skyscraper, you have it on almost every map, right?
The wall and the window, which is simultaneously side by side.
I get that, but on Consulate you have the lobby door, you have the garage, you have, like, there are plenty of places,
lobby,
right?
Yeah, I never liked lobby in Consulate. I thought that was troublesome.
But attackers struggle with planting.
Sure, but it doesn't change the fact that the design in of itself is outside side, which I'm sure I swear on, like, a second episode.
I just think that's the thing you decided that you don't want in the game, not a thing that's necessarily bad for the game.
Sure,
right?
But every map where, again, this is throwing all the way back. But every time I've spoken to players, either in Pro League or non-Pro League or whatever, and we discussed why do you hate Consulate? Why do you hate this map? What's the thing about this? They hate that there's no map control to really
That's
take.
confirmation bias, because then they complain about the maps where you need to take as well.
Well,
I haven't had that argument,
bias,
but
right?
let me
Then you have people complaining about Villa that it's too hard to get in and plant.
I think there is an argument there as well, but let me just break it down for the viewers just to be perfectly clear, because a lot of people haven't even played this map. I think what Jess is talking about is there's a site on the new map that has both an exterior wall and an exterior window that go right into the site, and you're saying that is a bit too accessible for the site, correct?
There is a few areas on the map where plant and bail is extraordinarily easy, in which there should be more accessibility to countering that.
And the exact opposite of what that situation would be on Villa, where there are, you think about it, there's no direct access to any site at all. There's at least a little small buffer room around everything. So those are the two different design styles.
Kitchen flanked. Kitchen on Emerald Plains, kitchen and dining is a great example of what I deem to be a good site.
Okay.
There's pantry, which connects on and is a quote-unquote power position to take. It's not a huge room, but I mean, there's an external double soft wall, there's a window. That's a cornerstone to the sides. You've got dining, which you have to enter in a bathroom or whatnot to get in. There's the long hallway down. You can open up those soft walls. Yes, there's a bar tuck and stuff like that, which you can't open. But, I mean, there's a hatch above it. So, of course, you could counter it as an attacker should you want to. That is a good side. I can see myself attacking 15 different ways. I can see myself defending 15 different ways. There's some vertical above. That site is going to be my favorite site for sure. Kitchen and dining for sure.
I guess the question that I would throw out is, Zeronic mentioned Clubhouse Master, which I think is a good comparison. Yeah. Is it possible that we will discover the equivalent of cache on that objective, where you kind of hold from cache servers, you extend the site there? Is it possible we'll discover something with that site, or do you think you've broken it down enough to where you would have already found that?
You have to hold meeting, which is fine, but I'm wondering, because of how the double window exists in meeting, that goes for those who maybe can hopefully try and picture it. I know I'm talking a lot of callouts you might not know, but there's meeting double window, which looks out over fireplace and then across towards library. The trouble with that, unfortunately, and I don't know if this could be like a slight change they can make, is that if you must hold meeting, because it is a power position, you must have all of those long lines of sight. You can't then not also hold library, which is you're spreading yourself too thin at that point. You'd be holding the whole top floor at that point. It'd be quote unquote impossible to provide that much resources across the top floor just to hold a window, for example. So if they were to somehow maybe extend those library walls a little bit across so that there's not so much crossfire over towards the double window and meeting, you might have a better chance, rather than, I have to run castle on this side, I have to, maybe that could be the answer. But that meeting double across the library, that's the issue for me in being able to do what Alex is talking about, is that you should be able to stop people getting in that window and planting, but you need those long lines of sight from meeting across. But to hold meeting across, you can't be shot in the back from the meeting double window over to library. So that's my only issue with like the super longevity of that site.
I think if they end up getting it to where there's one site where you can plant straight from outside and in, we can't see that as an issue, because there's other, like, that amount of other sites as well.
Sure.
If it was 3 out of 4, for example, I'd probably be a little bit different. But again, it was the same conversation we had last time, where maps need to be different. Yep. If they all follow this buffer bullshit rule, where every single site has to have exactly one room prior to where you get in, we need one site that has a soft floor, one site that has a hard floor, X amount of breaches. Like, if it all just follows a template, then why make new maps?
I just don't think there's enough to counter it. I don't mind it. And actually, Constant's one of my favorite maps to watch competitively. The fact that it was taken out, I actually was a bit sad, because I love repelling and how you counter it. I didn't like that you had to jump out to counter it, but those kind of things is like, I just don't feel like. I'll give you a good example. I don't know if you remember on, I don't know, the western side of the map or whatever, there's ceramic gallery. Then there's the 2 external double soft walls called vault. And then next to ceramic gallery is private gallery, where I said you could repel and there's a little jut out wall. You can play it there on the hard floor, whatever. Yep. So on the other side of vault, where you go into little double soft walls, there's a room called archives, and it's got a door which goes out to the balcony. you can run out that balcony and directly challenge anyone opening up that wall, holding lines of sight out if they were to go into ceramic and plant. That is a counterable post-plant situation. They've given me an option that, yes, okay, it might be claymore, air jab, and everything like that, but I got to use my countering skills in my adaptation to go, maybe I have an impact to be able to run out. They've got to watch that as well, yada, yada. Adds to the retakeability of if you to plant just outside vault doors on ceramic, for example. There needs to be something like that. That's my point, is that the tide should turn on you as a defender when they plant against you, but it shouldn't turn so much that you have to throw your body outside, or you have to run out from underneath what's that front door called? Reception, I think it's called. You gotta run all the way out and then turn around, you're already spotted. That shouldn't be your only counter to that, I feel. Like, there's got to be one other layer to it, just like over towards archives and ceramic and stuff.
Yeah, I've always been of the idea that the second you get the plant down, it should be almost unwinnable for defenders. Because the steps you have to take as an attacker to guarantee the plant down, you have to throw everything in the kitchen sink at the wall. Like, everything. Mm-hmm. Because all it takes is one defender with a C4, and case is dropped in the middle of sight, and the people that were covering flanks and all, they all have to rotate. There has to be, like, defenders already have time on their side.
And another thing that's unique in Siege with that is that the sites are so close together. You know, and what led me to this thought is thinking about Valorant. And I like the counterplay potential, or the way the Defuser works in Valorant. You can go halfway and keep it there. If you're trying to counter defuse, I guess would be the right word. And I thought about, could they bring that into Siege? I don't think so, because with Valorant, the sites are on opposite sides of the map, and you're going to have a defense spread out, which makes it more likely that you can get a plant down, in my opinion. Whereas in Siege, with the sites being on top of each other, it's tougher to get a plant down.
I mean, it's the same as CS, right? Yeah. With CS, you can ninja defuse as well. Right? You can fake it. You can't really do that in Siege, because first off, if you can see just the edge of the case, there's electricity sparking out everywhere in that case. So if you can just see a pixel of the case, you're going to see all these like bandit battery flashes come out, or little lightning things. Sure, every now and then you don't hear it.
Yeah, the sound's the issue. Honestly, the only thing that issued me is the sound. That's it. The rest, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll miss the sound, it won't play, or whatever we tell ourselves, and that kind of sucks, because it should be consistent so we can figure out exactly how far they are. I don't think silent diffusing in Siege would be a good thing, because the attackers need to have that massive favor once they get that case down. We've seen enough retakes in comp that probably shouldn't happen, because people weren't really sure if they were diffusing, how it was planted. Maybe you can't really shoot through the floor at that point. Your vertical wasn't set up. People long arming further than you thought, right? Yeah. And like in CS, you have the wires that go from the bomb, which was added in later, by the way, so you can see if someone is long arming. There's literally cables going from you to the case, right? In Siege, we just have the sparkling diffuser, and then sometimes a sound.
Sometimes. Which I got yelled at. I apologized to Bad the other day, who was like, "Oh man, I didn't say anything because in a 1vx situation, I always give you sound." And I'm like, I appreciate that. I love that you do that. That is the rule in our stack. But in that moment, boy, I did not hear the diffuse going down at all. Not a single beep, not a single scratch. I was like, you should have said something, because I just let that go through.
Yeah, that's tough when that happens.
So
shit.
One thing I've noticed on the new map is that the buffer rooms, where there are the buffer rooms, they do seem to be more deliberate and smaller. So like you look at like Villa Aviator, we'll call Study a buffer room. That's a pretty big room, and then you've got main stairs attached to it. There's a lot of play there for defenders. The buffer rooms on Emerald Plains, it seemed to be like an exterior reinforceable wall that goes into a small room, and maybe even a window there as well. And just and the defenders really only hope for holding that room as swinging a doorway in a couple of situations. It may be that vault room that you're talking about, that I'm thinking about.
You'd have to
And
swing that.
I was like, man, the only defender play here that I can see right now is to swing this doorway. But you know, I agree in the sense, like, I think that I like a mixture of exterior walls, buffer rooms, because I think that big buffer rooms like Villa really lends itself to super aggro, roamy defenders. And as an attacker, you're just always like, dude, like for an unorganized attacking group, it seems really overwhelming to do anything other than just push straight sight. But maybe that's the way it should be. But I like the mixture. I'm optimistic about the new map. I am. You know, I haven't broken it down to the point where you have, but I'm optimistic.
I'm terrified of the small rooms because I think most of us are so stuck in our ways with, like, we already believe we have an idea of a lineup for the new map.
Yeah.
Well, like the small rooms, Smoke, Chankek, Goyo. So good luck sitting in there, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Yeah.
You go in that room, I'm gonna shoot a couple of these little fireballs in, and you're gonna leave that room.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's
so
true.
small, right?
Think about stock for bar as well, which I assume is going to be the default plant. Who's going to plant in lounge unless you go take like orange stairs control, dining control, and everything, open up the long angle? I mean, like, I would just go into stock. The door is literally there. Open up the double wall, plant behind the bar, which is humongous, by the way. I mean, I could put me... Okay, no, let's not use me as an example. I could put 2 operators on top of each other, crouched, and they would still be covered, I think. So, like, you could barely
there's
see
a
someone
hatch
sort of
above that,
stand.
right?
Yeah, so that's your... If you wanted to open
that-
it, you could counter it that way, yeah.
That hatch from a defender can see over the soft part of the reinforced wall and see the door.
Oh, the entire door, by the way. It's not even just
Yeah.
like, oh, you can see the left hand side. You see the entire door frame.
You can never go in there before you clear top.
That's assuming that the defenders open the hatch and don't reinforce it.
Sure.
Yes. If you saw that open, you would absolutely have to take top, which, by the way, hunting has a window right on it. So to hold the hatch is almost impossible because the flipped over table is not tall enough. You can see the top of their head. Yeah. Again, creativity at its finest. Would love to see it.
There's always an option in Siege.
There always is.
Now there is with the zombie.
Yeah, that's true.
So fun.
Oh gosh, she's great.
What
Sick
did
of hearing a fucking keeper barriers go off though, and I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm gonna sneak around the corner. There's gonna be some fucked up angle against me here.
Yeah. She's been fun. She's been fun though. I've had a good time. She hasn't completely destroyed the game either. Like it hasn't been oppressive by any means. What did you guys think about people comparing the new map to Bartlett and all that? Criticism, I guess you could say. I don't know what you
There
would
was
call
only
it.
think
one
it's the
room
same
I
people-
thought that.
I think some people's mouth are jealous of their asshole because of how much shit they talk.
So here's what I'll say. All right, if you're a vocal part of the community and you and when a new piece of content comes out, first map in 3 years, and your immediate reaction is to find out and speak about what's wrong with it rather than what's I think that you probably need to move on to a different game because you are tired of Siege and you don't like this game anymore. I don't know, like if you don't look at a new map and your instant reaction isn't like, I'm excited to get a new piece of content and I can't wait to get my hands on it and break it down and see what this is all about. If instead your immediate reaction is, I'm gonna go and make side-by-side pictures about how fucking similar this is to Bartlett, and I
didn't see the screenshots, but was it? Because in my mind, running around breaking it down, I did not get a lot of the same vibes because I played a lot of Bartlett in the beginning. I remember
There was
very
one
vividly.
room. One room that really felt
yes.
like it. The office room.
Yeah,
And
the
it's because
CEO
they were
room.
able and 2
Yes.
shelves. And okay, so what?
And they saw the window that jutted out in a geometric shape upon which one of the rooms in Bartlett had geometrical windows. That
Also,
doesn't mean it's the same fucking thing. Like, I'm
my
sorry that
house-
shapes exist, bro, and you didn't
My
pass
house
grade A
looks
maths.
a lot like my neighbor's house. They're both pretty much rectangles. They both have 2 floors. There's windows and
Do you have
doors in
windows?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
same house. It's the same house.
It's like, who gives a shit if that room looks a little bit like another? Like, was that a bad thing? And it's the same with like if we talk about anything else in gaming, you have those like annoying ass Twitter accounts that say, oh, they reused the animation in the second version of this game. It's
What
like,
did they want? A new, like, it's the same
why?
action.
Yeah. Like,
What?
the vaulting animation is the same as it was in the first version of the game. Why didn't they make a new one? Why should they?
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
I see plenty of small little things with the map that I don't like, but the first thing I'm going to do when I go and play the map is to try and abuse all the things that I think is wrong in the map to see if that might be right. And 90% of them are probably not going to work even close to what I'm predicting or expecting. And then maybe 10% of them are going to be really busted. And then people are going to learn how to deal with that. And then I'm going to have to change it anyway, right?
How many of the maps feature that same little radio? You know, the radio that
the speech radio.
Yeah.
We love it.
Which, by the way, if they sold working versions of that radio, I would buy that. And
I would also buy one.
Heartbeat.
I would buy
Imagine
one.
that.
As long as it doesn't play Vape Nation.
Was that the song in Clubhouse?
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
I think it's something else than Vape Nation, but it's something Nation. It's so annoying. Nightmares about that one.
That would be the ultimate flex though on stream, to have that in the background hooked up to Bluetooth, and you know you just play some.
I do like that.
Two pet peeves with the map: the clocks are so fucking annoying.
The clock.
Oh my god, you can hear reception phone from 4 rooms away. I'm across the map in library and I'm like, where is this phone? And I got my teammate running around shooting every phone on every desk, and it's not it. It's all the way in fucking reception at the front door, bro. What is that? Why is it so loud?
Each individual clock goes. It's so annoying.
You mean the big, obnoxious, funky looking orange one?
Little tiny clock that is on the shelves. If you go and lean up against that, you can just hear this click, click, click. Oh.
Really?
And
so they can give me tiny, obnoxiously unimportant clock ticking sounds, but they cannot give me diffuser sounds. I am done, boys.
Probably only half of them that work. And then there's the vinyl player that you can't turn off.
You can. You got to shoot the glass.
Okay, that didn't work in the first version.
I had to shoot it like 4 shotgun blasts.
No, No. So now, if you just shoot the thin layer of glass that sits on the top, music stops.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't the first one, because I sprayed a full LMG and 2 nades and a Gon 6, and it never worked.
No, they've finally added
a
1 bullet breakable glass layer on the top that stops the music. Yeah.
Thank fuck. Okay.
Yeah, so just like Clubhouse. Yeah.
The $1 million question I have, and again, I think this provides a very valuable insight into the thought process of the dev team right now. Will they instantly put the new map into deathmatch?
Why wouldn't you? I think that's a good map for deathmatch, personally.
And you're going to learn it. I've learned more about favela since deathmatch has been introduced than I did in the previous 2 seasons. Like
I know Alex doesn't agree with this. I know he doesn't, but unfortunately, you are outnumbered for the first time in a long time here, Alex.
That's completely fine, because
bottom floor favela. Bottom floor favela. I also via team deathmatch have learnt much more than I ever knew before playing ranked with it. So,
but you probably haven't spent that much time in custom.
No, but let's assume that I don't have. Well, we don't even have to assume. I don't have the time.
Sure. You'll never hear me say, Alex, that time spent in deathmatch will be as valuable as somebody who's really motivated to go into a custom game and break it down.
That's my only argument.
I think that expecting the average player to do that is unrealistic.
Yeah.
No, but I was never expecting anyone to do it. When you say that you're going to learn the map, I'm calling bullshit, because you might learn how to run from one room to another, but you're not going to learn the flow of the map.
The first thing to learn though is the layout.
The only thing that matters in comp, right? Yeah, but the layout you can learn without playing deathmatch. Like, you can run around in the map in 10 minutes, right?
Again, the argument is that you're going to learn it faster.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
2 birds, 1 stone with me, with team deathmatch. I'm warming up and I'm learning the bottom floor. Easy.
Do you pick favela or do you ban it?
Actually, you can't in team deathmatch, can you?
No.
Oh, you mean in ranked?
Yeah,
so my insta bans are skyscraper and canal. Everything else, I will play and love.
My biggest issue is I've played a lot of favela. And I've played a lot of favela with people that have played a lot of favela.
The other team bans it against us a lot.
Yeah, we just tell them we ban favela and then we don't.
You're one of those assholes.
Yeah, 100%. Because fuck the community for asking for new things and then not playing them.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Like, we gotta learn it somehow. So we get into favela. We have kind of an idea of how to play it. But people's mentality when they start playing a new thing is I'm gonna sprint around everywhere
Yep.
and then die to something I didn't know was there, and then be like, oh, the map's shit.
Yeah.
That's
be-
my experience. Every map that we've ever had added until it joins comp, every time.
And it's
There
a
is
fact.
nothing
and
inherently bad with favela.
correct.
People just have no fucking idea how to play it.
I will say I had a little bit of a problem with like one of the ingress points, the two most popular ingress points being the top floor and requiring you to choke point down those 2 stairs. I didn't necessarily like that, but I actually played last night. I was duo queuing with my friend, and one of their teammates just chimed up to say, Jess, is there any chance you could go in from bottom trash and then crouch up as we pinch onto the 2 external walls? He goes, that would be good. And IGL'd me. I go up trash stairs, no one's there. I drove myself up, and I get a 3K. And I'm like, you know what? There is more to this map than I know and I've done before, because I'm so set in my ways about, okay, external wall, entry here, vertical here. Like, there's more to it.
But it's like, even that would be a bad argument that, okay, you have to attack from, let's just say you have to attack from top red and top trash. So what? In like 90% of other maps, we still use the same attack every single time. Right? Like, almost every map you can think of, you can kind of predict how people are going to attack it. Like, maps that we think are quite good in ranked, in each elo bracket, you almost always see the same thing. Right? There's very little difference in how you take CCTV from, like, if you take the average of 50 diamond games, for example. Like, CCTV wall.
I just think it's more the choke point that doesn't give me diversity in how I do it. I think I know going in that my teammate has to drone it, and I just go take the gunfight on the trash stairs. Maybe a little bit of lack of excitement for me, which is why maybe I don't enjoy it as much.
I'm less likely to ban favela since I've played so much deathmatch on it than I was before deathmatch came out. Just because I've learned more about it.
Why would that be?
I think I'm just more comfortable. I'm just more comfortable because I'm
why
more.
Why would you play a map you're uncomfortable on if it's new? Everyone's uncomfortable on it.
Yeah. I know. I'm just saying, like, for me, if I'm looking at favela, clubhouse, Oregon, I am that guy that's like, listen, I don't feel comfortable in favela, so I'm going to ban favela. But with playing deathmatch as much as I have on it now, I'm much less likely to feel that way, because I think one of the things I didn't expect to be as beneficial as it is having impacts in deathmatch and being able to open up lines of sight. Because by the end of the deathmatch, you're looking around and you're like, okay, this line of sight looks at this stairway, and I can get this, some of that stuff does actually benefit you in a real game. You're like, okay, if I'm trying to hold this stairway, I can impact here and get this line of sight. And I think that's been very, very beneficial. So,
line of sight helps a ton with.
I really hope they throw the new map in the deathmatch as soon as it launches. I think that would be a good sign.
It doesn't do anything bad, Flake. At the end of the day, your suggestion is completely right, because to not do it makes no sense, because there's no disadvantage to doing so.
I don't think it hurts anything.
Yeah.
There are some maps where it makes no sense.
Yeah.
There are 100% maps where it makes no sense to add deathmatch, because or any big map. Clubhouse.
I feel like favela could handle 10 players on each side. Or not favela. I'm sorry, Villa. I feel like Villa.
Oh, Villa. I was like, shoot.
I had a match end on Villa the other day, and I think the final score was like 32-26.
I've never reached the kill cap.
Me either.
I've never reached the kill cap.
Not even on favela.
To be fair, I play a lot of theme parks, so.
It's maybe also better that we don't reach the kill cap and let the time run.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
That's true as well. But yeah, I think if their goal was like, oh, we believe like you could in a game of this long reach this, possibly if your team was, gunning. But I don't think my team and I have ever reached it. It has always been a little top heavy on both rosters though. So like, I don't know if that's just what it is, or people chilling halfway through, not respawning straight away because you have to press it every death and stuff like that.
It gets better and better because there's hidden MMR in. So you're going to face better and better people if you keep playing deathmatch.
Is that 100% that there is? I've heard some debate about that. Is there 100% that there's hidden MMR in deathmatch?
I mean, tracker shows it, so I assume so.
Okay.
They have to get that from somewhere.
Yeah.
So I assume there. I don't know if it's actually doing anything, or if
is it based off of a win?
Probably based off performance and win. I don't know, but there is a hidden MMR. Whether it's used to actually matchmake you, I don't actually know. It would be nice if it be clarified that.
That would be
But it's
nice.
rare. You don't see people drop 30 kills every single game, 20 games in a row. So there's probably something.
Yeah.
Or it's just luck of the draw that you are eventually going to find people that are as good or better.
Yeah. On the discussion of maps, can we talk about Outback a little bit?
I love it.
Is Outback a good map now? Since the rework.
Yes.
Okay.
People who are avoiding it. Look, to be fair, the only time I ban it is when I'm not playing in like, you know, a 3 or 4 stack and my teammates aren't using their mics. Like I've come in, I'm like, yeah, hey team, what's up? And I'm like, I don't think they're going to communicate with me. I don't think they're going to understand me when I'm speaking. So I'm like, they're going to insta ban it. They already have 2 votes. All right, I'll just go with it. So that's the only time I've ever banned it. Otherwise, I really enjoy playing it. I really enjoy it.
And then when you get to play a new map, stop going to the same damn site every single time. Try the other ones because people are so wrong when they think they know the best one. Yeah. There's not been a single time in the Siege community where they've got the initial site correct. It's never the one you think is the best. Always enough. Just try the other ones, man. Like experiment. Okay, you're gonna lose a bit of elo or it's unranked. Like who cares? Just try to make shit work and come up with some new stuff instead of following. You'd have the setups on Outback. It's such a shame. It's just people just go laundry and bunk or piano and laundry, whatever it's called, the top floor one. And it's the same thing every time.
It's funny because I really enjoy Party. I enjoy Party, but I really enjoyed Bedroom actually because there was this one guy, because it was our third site. So of course you got to pick one of them. So we picked Bedroom. And he goes, why is everyone upstairs? I'm alone on site. And I'm like, look, friend, pal, buddy-o, listen, like I don't want to be rude, but there's so much verticality above. And if we don't reinforce the 2 like external walls upstairs and at least attempt to like have our own verticals above, you know, the entry sides, then you're going to get overrun from above and you're going to be complaining that people are absolutely shitting on you from above. Guess what? They do a top floor take. I'm like, bro, I just look at the map. Look up, look down, look left and look right, you know, like you're crossing the road and just go, oh, what's the possibility with this site? Like, it's not that hard, in my opinion. There's a hatch there for you to open and drop. There's 2 hatches for you to open and drop if you wanted to.
I like kitchen. You literally have the option again of reinforcing between sites and really splitting it up, and there is nothing anyone can do about it. But it's interesting to see these weird line or layouts on new sites. And it teaches you so much more about the map as well. Makes you more comfortable if you mess around and try some different sites. Like at the end of the day, for 99% of us, it's still a goddamn game, and we're supposed to have fun.
Yeah.
If we just go through the motions and do the same boring shit every single time, no wonder people get burned out. Yeah. But people would rather get 25 elo than they try to have a little bit of a fun in a game.
I like Outback too. I got a little bit tired of playing in the beginning because I feel like the pick rate of Outback is a bit higher than for the other maps personally, unless I just ran into a series of bad luck there. But I really enjoy Outback, and that kind of leads me to another thing that I'll suggest as far as a new map. If they throw the new map directly into ranked, which I think that they should.
Sure, okay.
I think that they should personally, but if they do that, do not increase the pick rate. Make it a normal pick rate across the board. The fastest way to make people hate a new map is to put it into ranked with an increased pick rate, and then they're just going to ban it all the time. And yeah, I think you put it into ranked, maybe even consider a lesser pick rate. Honestly, maybe it has a lower pick rate than the other maps. But I do think it's important to go there.
I think they have data on that would prove otherwise, but I'm not sure. I think if you give it a lower pick rate, the ban rate is going to stay the same, and you're going to see much less play.
Whatever the stats say is what I want to follow. If it is true, and I kind of felt that way as well, especially when maps first came out, the ban rate is so freaking high. And I see it in like almost every single map ban because I don't know if in the background you said there's a higher chance of it showing up. So I don't know if that's going to be preset for every map moving forward or whatever it might be. But I felt like every map I went into, from Plat 3 to Diamond 3, everyone was like, no, ban. It was just insta-banned all the time. And for me to be able to get it through, it required like the other team to have like a less preferential map that might go against it, and maybe they pick that map instead, and we then pick the other alternative map, and suddenly we magically get whatever that map is. I had to like coordinate some fucking magic to get it. So I do truly think that it's showing up all the time and people insta-banning it. It actually got them into a rhythm of just insta-banning it, which I
My
feel is very
happiest time
sad.
is when I see like, I don't know, Outback Favela Canal on the
Yeah.
list, because I'm guaranteed I'm gonna play at least a new-ish map.
Mm.
Instead of just running Oregon and Clubhouse
Oh,
24
I'm so
fucking
sick of
7.
Oregon.
And people, yeah, exactly. You're sick of Oregon. So am I. And so
I'm so
are
sick of
all
it.
the people that are banning Favela and whatever, Canal to play Oregon. And then
Yeah.
we play Oregon 3 or 4 times in a row, and people say, oh, I'm sick of playing Oregon. If everyone just banned the map you just played, you're always going to have a pretty decent time at least, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of my rule. I ban whatever I've just played, unless it's Favela, because it's too new. I want to
Yep.
play that as much as possible. I'm not playing to just win and gain elo, because it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I just want a good game on a map where there's something to learn. Like I'd prefer if we were to play Clubhouse that we just ran bar every time to start with, and then went to the next least picked, right?
Yeah.
So you always took the lesser site just to try them.
Yeah.
Because we've played Basement and CCTV for 7 years now.
I think if they throw the new map directly into comp, which, you know, should they do that? If they throw it directly into comp, they throw it directly into ranked. I think that's the best case scenario for a map to be received, for a good map to be received well.
I would be okay with them injecting Emerald Plains into comp straight away. I would. I truly think we need to get rid of the quarantine period for ops. I think we need to get rid of, to some degree, like, I just feel like, the problem is, and I don't know how to address this. I don't have the answer, so I'm just complaining without a solution, unfortunately, or a slight solution I'm not sure is truly, you know, we can implement. But how come we can't just have, like, a group of people, like, you know, that we know in the community that have a high level understanding of the game, have 2 meetings with Ubisoft, and they sit down and they say, oh, we want you to try this on this test server, or do this, blah, 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 give us a feedback. And the overwhelming, you know, rapport with, let's say, Azami, for example. We all sat down and we all tested. We had like 50 people, whether it's creators, pros, coaches, blah, blah. You mix them all together and they all try Azami. Then at the end, you do a survey and it says, I don't think that Azami is broken, or there's no bugs with her, or this. QA, but on like a different level, a separate level. You do a separate, more esports focused level for it. And then they come back and it goes, there is no problems, like Lion when he was first introduced. There's no problems with this operator. It looks pretty good. We don't have any bugs rolling that might be seen in comp, and they just roll it out. It takes two tests.
No, it doesn't work. We have workshops
Okay.
already.
But that's beyond the workshops.
But we're always wrong. That's the thing.
Sure.
We miss
it's
half
just for
the
testing.
things. Yeah, but that just won't do much. I think you're much better. Let it go public. Give it to a couple million people that could fuck around with it, and then say, okay, for 2 weeks after launch, like maybe we make it so from when it's launched to the first comp game is 2 weeks. If that isn't enough to find a substantial issue with it, to say, okay, we need to quarantine it for a week because there's a bug.
Correct.
Fair.
It's what Val does.
If it's
literally is what Val
overpowered,
does.
Didn't they
If
do
it's
that with
overpowered,
Killjoy?
I don't care.
Like normally in
Literally
Valorant.
the past 2 weeks, there's been a problem with Yoru, and they just said, you can't play Yoru. And that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
And only ever do it when it's a bug, not when it's overpowered. Because I want to see overpowered shit in comp.
Yes.
That's fun.
I don't care how the thing that you're saying, Alex, I don't care how they do it, whether they do it in, like, you know, workshop-y stuff with creators and pros, or if they do it to the public. I don't care how they do it.
I just don't want the competitive side to decide how the game is being run. I think that's a horrible thing for viewing.
Sure. Let's say all of the hundreds of thousands of players test it, and then there's all these videos cropping up of there's a bug, this you can produce.
Exactly.
This,
like you can climb with the Asami thing, right? Like fixed.
Yeah. But there's no prefacing thought that this is going to go into a quarantine period first. The prefacing thought is this is going into comp, and unless we find another reason not to do so, that is the same thing.
Let's be fair. Ubi wasn't the ones advocating for the quarantine.
No,
Right.
correct.
Right.
But
So,
Ubi also needs to stop giving into demands.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I've said that a few times. I think their biggest problem is that they listen too much to us.
Devil's advocate here. Which I agree with you guys, by the way. I think it would be great for viewership, great for the game overall, that if a player recognizes that the new op I'm excited about is going to appear in comp within 6 months, that would be a good thing. But, and plus, like, Goyo is a new operator. And he's in comp right now.
Yeah.
Like, what is the, anyway, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But,
And he's not seeing any play anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Which should, yes.
I think that where this comes from was Lion and Ella.
Yeah, it was.
And how long it took them to fix that.
Yeah.
Not that they introduced operators that were that broken. I think that's okay. But the fact that it took Ella so long to be in a halfway good place, and Lion for that matter, there were a lot of comp players who are like, listen, if you're gonna take a year to fix Lion, then you have to introduce a quarantine period and fix this somehow.
Which is fine. Yeah. I don't mind them demanding that when there is literal practical evidence of there being a huge problematic issue.
Well, there's just no evidence for it actually destroying the win rate. That's the problem. It sucked to play against. It really did. It was not fun. Yeah. But it didn't guarantee you wins on attack. Because then we would see attacker win rate skyrocket, and we didn't.
But it did slow the game considerably. It made it
it was horrible
like
to watch.
It was pretty shit.
Fuck the quarantine. Ubi should just have gone in and said, okay, you know what? The Line's out of comp play until that. And then come up with a quarantine.
Yes.
Okay.
Ella, Frost, Blackbeard, just keep them. The way they were, just play through that. It is what it is. There was things you could do, right? Like Ella, you could still deal with. Frost Super 90. Honestly, that was almost as bad as Lion ever was. You could hit fire people across the map with that thing. Like year one with that was not enjoyable. But we just don't need every single new operator to be kept out of comp play for. I mean,
what we're talking about though, like, okay, so I guess the question would be, where does the buck stop with this decision? Who has the final say? And okay, Lion is going to be quarantined or not. And that person, what the system we currently have, it takes the responsibility off of that person, and it takes the stress off of that person. They don't have to make a judgment call. They don't have to make valuable and they get that large buffer period where they where it makes their life easy. If what we're talking about, there's going to be somewhere where that buck stops. And that person is going to have to make a tough decision at some point. Maybe, depending on what operators come our way. And what are they going to be basing that operate? Like, so if the comp players all come out, and if you've got 9 out of 10 comp players that are saying a zombie is broken, should that person listen to that?
No. Unless there is a bug that makes it so the intended purpose of the operator isn't happening anymore. Like, let's say you have a Clash that can shoot while her shield is out.
Yeah.
That's a bug, and that should not be ever happening by mistake. It shouldn't be able to cost a round, right? Let's say, for example, Amaru could accidentally insta-plant when she walked into sight. Out. Like, you're out until that's fixed, right? If mirror windows sometimes didn't fall and would just magically hover there, but for the defender, they could shoot through them, things that would straight up break the intent of the operator. Quarantine that until fixed, and then fix it fast. But just because an operator does 5 damage too much, shoots 10 rounds too fast, has 1 too many gadgets, or is annoying to play against, is not enough reason to keep them out of comp.
So if original Lion was released today or whatever, if we went back in time, how would you handle that situation ideally? What would be your ideal scenario there, Zeronic?
Well, I think it's okay to learn from what has happened, right? So instead of going back and making this play pretend thing, we're saying that
okay, yeah, fair enough.
Do that. Let's say Asami came out and we could climb on her things, like we couldn't in the test. I straight up say, okay, well, you can't play Asami, or you can't at least use them to gain access to any place that you can't get to otherwise. And then we already had that with deployable shields, right? We've had rulings in comp. Yeah. When we played, easy story about it. Old Canal. There was a way to go prone underneath a window, run up on a guy, and then you can sit in the window frame. When we played all the way back in season 3, I think, we asked the admins if we were allowed to do a run vault up on a prone guy to sit in the window to peek out the window. They went, nope, not intended. You can't do that. There was the angle on bank where you could see through an indestructible piece of stuff. And the only reason we knew that happened against us in that game was because we broken down the map and figured out that you could do that. So when we got shot from that angle, we knew that, okay, this is a bug, a glitch, whatever, and asked admin and got a rehost on the round, right? I don't see how that's such a big deal.
But Lion, the problem with Lion wasn't a bug.
No. So, okay. But now you're going back to choose Lion because it's the one operator.
Right. Okay.
Right?
And I'm not. Again, I think we're all on the same page with this. But I'm just asking, what would happen? How would you handle that situation today? What do you think the ideal scenario is? Because I think it's important that the devs feel like they can take a risk, and with that risk, you might have an operator that comes out, pretty broken. So I guess if there's no quarantine period, how do you feel like that should be handled? If somebody is released in today's world as strong as what Lion was,
I think it becomes harder and harder for them to fuck it up like they did with Lion because we have more things to stop it, right? Like we have so many traps now. Like Goyo would actually be a fairly good counter to Lion in many situations because when you got scanned, you could pop fire and that's gonna last the time that you would otherwise be scanned. The same with like Ying was obnoxious, right? But Warden is there now to kind of mess that up. We have bans and rank now as well.
We got the test server for meant to be testing, of which a lot more of us play now as well. So there is that. And to say like what would you do now, like to answer your question more directly, is like if I'm sitting there and I'm hovering over management of this and whoever makes the decision, I'm the one that's sitting there and saying, we have the test server for this. We tell the pros in an email to all of their contacts. I remember how the system works back when I was a coach. I'm sure it's very similar now. You get an email and it says, for this period of time, you are given the opportunity to give us feedback on this operator. Whether or not they take the feedback or not, it doesn't fucking matter. That's literally irrelevant. Here it is in the test server. The test server runs for 2 weeks. If there is a bug or a problem, you let us know in the private Discord or whatever it is that they've got going for it. If after that, you haven't said anything, shut your mouth, play your game, do your job.
I think we need to see some of the operators back to their OP-ness just to see what would happen now. Like, just how much would it shake up the meta if things went back just for a week on a test server? Just let us see if is it as bad as we remember if we had it now? Like, would those things actually be as strong?
I remember Lion being pretty freaking annoying, man.
Yeah, Vigil also wasn't immune to it, and the only team we ever saw actually use mute was an Apex or LATAM team, I think, that used mute to counter the Lion, and they absolutely slapped them when they ran in through garage.
It lasted a good bit longer too, didn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, there's a very simple fix to that, right? We don't have to make it into rocket science. They could just make it so it lasted 2 seconds. Just nerf it to the point where it is no longer beneficial to bring this character unless you are guaranteed that you can get this 1 kill right now. And honestly, that shit's not going to work today. You have too many shields you can hide behind. Did we even have deployable shields with windows in?
No.
We didn't, right? No. Like, maybe that would help.
It could.
Maybe the slow meta would not even allow for Lion to be a thing.
I think to get rid of quarantine, I think you need a strong leader that's going to, and I'm not saying we don't have this currently. I'm just saying that I think that to get rid of operator quarantine, which I think that they should do, you need a strong leader in place that has the ability to gather good, unbiased feedback on the new operators and has the confidence to make a decision based upon each individual case. And I also think that that person needs the support from the dev team to be able to issue balance changes quickly, but not knee-jerk reactions, but faster than Lion. You have or Ella for that matter. Like, maybe, if you introduce an overtuned operator, then the expectation is that by mid-season reinforcement, you'll have a pretty significant fix in for that operator. I think those are the things that you need for no quarantine to work. Personally,
I think our game designers need to build and be okay with making things that can change stuff, but have a plan for how to change if
Yep.
something is.
Yes.
Yep.
Redundancy.
Build things
yeah.
with the intent that you can buff and nerf without just fucking around with what gun they have and what
Yeah.
sight they have.
Yeah.
Like build in that it's numbers and like the amount, the HP, the time, right? Like consider all of that so you have some levers you can pull with, and then we need to trust the game designers enough, because we are, after all, playing a game made by them and set by them, and everything we have is still from them. We have to trust that they at least have some sort of clue what they're doing, right? And not assume that we can make the character better. Because
Agreed.
like Chichenka, man, like, could you imagine they changed him based on his feedback originally?
Yeah.
Again,
Right, like-
I don't believe in workshop feedback at all, because there was multiple people at workshops around the world I argued with that they were just, the moment an idea came up, oh, OP. I'm thinking to myself, it's the only word in the dictionary, you know. So
on the other
at
hand,
that
I
point, there's
know
no
people that
conversation.
said things weren't OP, and then the second they're launched on Twitter, it's the first, oh yeah, we gave feedback saying it was overpowered. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. Yeah.
You played and
So-
said there wasn't that many issues with this thing, or
I just think that because obviously now I'm looking at it from a completely different perspective. I'm not in a comp team. My salary doesn't necessarily ride on it being as optimal for us as possible, whatever, those kind of things. So now I look at it from like a broadcast perspective, all these other areas that I can look at it from. And I think that's important. I get all of these different these insights to it, because now when I'm looking at it, I think to myself, how many people want to know how to play as army? Who is the best person to show them how to play as army? And how can we engage the best person, the most meant to be the most optimal people to be able to show you how to play and operate to the highest level? And how can we integrate that with bringing the highest amount of hype as possible, so that the player base is as high as possible, the viewership, whatever, so that this encircles every part of the community and the game and the development as possible. And to do that, we must stop limiting things. We must. We have to put these operators in straight away. We have to put these maps. The new Outback, Helby and I hated its guts so bad that once a week we would post about removing Outback from ranked. At least once a week. It was that horrific to us. I tried so many times to and in the end I just mained Frost on that map, because it was just the easiest way to defend.
Isn't that one of those things where it would be okay if you just suck it up and allow for one map you don't like?
I mean, sure, but it was just
Right.
an insta-ban. It seemed like a waste of my time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
sure,
now I
but-
see it differently. Now I'm like,
why?
you know what?
Why is that important? Like, why should that matter? If we're gonna have that discussion, why does it matter that you didn't like it if there are people that did?
And correct. And in our eyes, we assumed that everyone was on board with us. And although
I like the map.
Outback back then, I can guarantee the stats would have backed me up. The ban rate on that would have been humongous. It was almost
Confirmation
unplayable.
bias.
But and again, whether it's confirmation bias or not, the ban rates
All new
are
maps
still
get
the
banned a
stats.
lot, right?
Yeah,
Well,
so whether it's higher than others.
I think there's another
who knows?
data
But
point.
now it's good.
I think there's another data point that would probably play into your factor. I don't know. Maybe I could be way off here, but my guess is old back defender win rate was probably in the 70%, something like that. Defender
Yeah.
round win rate.
But all new maps are massively defender favored.
Yeah, but at that point,
For the
it had
first
been out for
week?
like 2 years.
Yeah, no one ever played it. It was banned every single time. Like,
Sure, but if I had an
Yeah.
excuse for everything that I came up with on the game, then, then it would be, do you know what I'm saying? Like, at
No,
the end
no,
of the day,
but-
we have to rely on something. And if the
Yes.
numbers say that abnormally,
Mhm.
it is abnormally compared to other new maps, it was banned more, or it had abnormal defensive win rates, whatever, right? We can sit here and come up with an excuse, say, yeah, but just people didn't learn it, they didn't. Okay, sure, but they didn't do it. At the end of the day, the fact is they didn't learn it, they didn't do it, they banned it way too much, and
What
we
if we
changed it,
missed
and
out on
now they play
something?
it more.
But what if you missed out on something?
Maybe we did, but I
Well-
can't come up with excuses for everything.
But-
At this point, my best comparison is say this old Outback was banned this much and played this much, which was minimal or whatever, or lots of bans. New Outback has a much higher play rate and also a
But-
much more whatever.
I cannot take that feedback serious if you try to avoid it as much as possible instead of trying to play it as much as possible. If it truly was bad, you should be trying as much as possible to get as many hours on it, right? To see if this is true. instead of playing it a handful of times or whatever much it is, and then just slam banning it over and over. Because like you will be stuck with the experience you had for those initial, let's say, 5 or 10 games. It doesn't matter if it's Outback, if it's Hereford, if it's Tower, if it's whatever it is. If we think something is bad, banning it is the least effective thing in terms of getting it better.
Absolutely.
I think
the thing is,
it
we
depends.
agree with you, but we're trying to talk about the facts and the numbers. Even if the
No,
numbers
we are making up our numbers here.
Well,
None of us
sure.
know the
I think
stats here.
it depends on your mindset as far as playing the game. Because
Yeah,
I think that you know what you're saying, Zeronic, is true, and there's a mindset that's like taking something that maybe I'm struggling with, breaking it down to its lowest level, and then overcoming and learning how to adjust and adapt. There's like a huge amount of satisfaction to that. But there's also the person that's like, I just want to get on and I want the game to be as optimal as possible for me having fun. And
Well, that's what I feel we miss.
And we can say that that's wrong, or that's maybe not the feedback that should matter. And I think that's a good debate to have. But you can't argue that there aren't people that have that mindset of I want to get on, I want to play the maps that I'm familiar with or that I view as good maps, you know, and I want to just have fun and play ranked and go about my enjoyment in Siege that way.
I don't think that is as true as we. Like, it sounds reasonable. It 100% does. But I think most of us gain something from learning new stuff on maps. And like, you know that thing when you get a wall bang where you thought there was a guy there and you kind of have this idea of how the layout is. So you throw the first vertical C4 and get that kill based off starting to understand the map. Those moments are like stand out to most people in Siege, right?
Sure.
You can't explain to me this last 10 times you played Clubhouse like what you did. Like, none of them really mattered. You've forgotten probably most of them, right? You probably played them more or less the same, and we kind of sure there are people that try new stuff all the time, but I think we suck at coming up with excuses for not trying new stuff all the time. Every map, it's new map bad, new operator bad. Don't play it. Ban this. Like, why are we trying to just do the same shit we've always done and then complain that nothing changes? It just seems insane to me.
I don't know how to explain it because I've seen both sides of it now, and I feel like I'm not able to verbalize it in a way where I can go, I have had moments where I've jumped into things that are new and I played it 10, 20, 30 times, and old Outback is one of my best examples for that, and comparing it to the new refresh of Outback that I've also now played maybe half to 3/4 of much that I played old Outback, and I can compare them in my head. Same with the Zami, and go, actually, I have no qualms about the new operator. I don't think she's OP. I think she fits in well. I think she's a good flex operator. But I can have all these thoughts, but she's also new. So I don't fit into the archetype and this correlation that we're making of things are new, bad, so ban. I've seen far less bans of this new Outback. I've seen almost no bans of Azami at all.
But wait. The way this discussion started was, why does it matter if you or some number of people think a certain thing is bad? And then you said, like, you kind of pulled some numbers thing with, well, it was bad let's
hypothesize that
if we pretend that is correct. All I'm saying is that just because you have 9 people agreeing that something is bad out of 10 doesn't mean it's true if you don't have enough testing on it, right? Like, and also, holy fuck,
but we have to put fun first at some point.
But we as content creators,
make the map more fun.
We as content creators have to be very careful with sharing our this map is bad thing, because people will straight up come in and just change their mind because a content creator said something was bad, right?
Absolutely.
Or because it's not in comp. There's a lot of people that think if a map isn't in comp, that map must be bad.
Yeah. Or people will
However
use this,
we fix that, I don't care. I don't care how we fix it.
We stop calling things a comp map.
Sure. And we can do that, or we can do whatever, right? And we can do whatever to the map pool, but it won't take away from my initial point behind all of this. My foundational point is that at the end of the day, I hate what I used to think about the game. I hated that I didn't think about casual gaming at all, almost in any sense of the word. I assumed that people had time to learn maps when realistically people are playing, like, casual gamers are playing like 3 or 4 maps a freaking week if they're lucky, and that's putting it nicely. That's going above and beyond there for a lot of casual gamers. I really do think that and I know Outback is the resounding example for me because it's the easiest for people to understand right now, is that if I can objectively sit here and say that if another old Outback version was to come in and people did not enjoy it off the first glance, and they played it once every couple of weeks because of how many little games they played, that at some point it is okay to admit as a developer or whatnot that you could make a few spruces to the map, spruce it up a little bit here and there, so that the entire gamers of the population try to enjoy it in some way, of which the new Outback is a resounding success in that way, even though it is new.
I'm with you, but I think
I want to be the more hardcore gamer, and I'm trying to step back from that a lot more these days.
I think we're insanely biased in that, both of us, because we're both looking at it from like a competitive rank standpoint, and I think a lot of casual players, I have plenty of people that enjoyed Power, Outback, stuff like that in rank. Like in the levels they played, it was fun. They played a couple times a week, and they just wanted new stuff every time. It wasn't that important if they won or if they lost. Like, they matter just as much, if not much more, than you and I. In terms of enjoyment, right? Because they are the reason that we can do anything and the game works and all of that.
Yeah.
Like, I have the band and I have the time to sit down and learn how to play on maps that I don't like, so I can still like carry my own on that map, and it doesn't have to break my day that I play a map a day that I hate, right? There are maps that I really dislike, but I try not to share it too much, except for Cafe. Fuck Cafe. I try not to shit on the map too much, because I don't think it helps. There are going to be people that enjoy the map and people that dislike the map. And I'd much rather that they look at how much a map is being played and then use that as the driving factor for things than what we say about the map.
Sure. Whatever the stats are, if Ubi came to me right now and said, this is the play rate for Skyscraper, which I hate. I Instaban, I don't like playing it as an attack or whatever. They came and they said, well, Jess, you're one of you're the anomaly here, friendo. Like, sorry. And I'm like, all right, shit. Okay, my bad.
We sat down with Jeremy, right? And he brought up some numbers at one point that was very surprising. I can't remember what they were, but basically we were completely fucking wrong. Everything we thought about win rates in certain places and what the maps were and what they didn't and blah, blah, blah. Like, we were so far off on our assumptions.
Well, then give us access to this in some way.
One of the third-party programs, R6 Analyst or whatever, has put out some...
Do they do it? Okay.
They put out some win rates on sites and maps, and they're never as high as I thought they would be. I think it's I think that's universally true. Every time I look at them, I expect them to be way more biased. It is ranked. It is ranked. I'd have to look at it again to give you the exact parameters for what it is, but I think they do some data on it. Do you guys want to move on from maps and talk about LMGs a bit, or do you have something else on that?
LMG.
Okay. Lead us in, Flake. What do you think about LMGs?
Well, okay.
Worse than Valk or not?
Worse than what? So, no, give Valk an LMG. No, I think the LMGs are pretty annoying. I do. I think they're pretty annoying. I think that's probably the first thing that beats me in the face with LMGs, is that if you run into an attacking squad that's got maybe 3 in a lineup, it's pretty annoying. With that said, I don't want a world... There was a time when LMGs were just not selected. Maybe on Capital every once in a while. You know, and I don't want that world back. I like it to be a real decision on these operators. The problem is, I think the number one problem with the LMGs right now is maybe who has them. Because you look at Gridlock. Gridlock has an LMG with a faster reload than Capital. Granted, not as many bullets. You haven't really seen her pick rate go up with this LMG meta. You'd think it would if it's truly the LMG. I think the problem we're seeing is that you got Finka and Zofia, 2 really meta operators right now that also bring LMGs. So that's I think that you need to like go into this conversation with that mentality a little bit. It's not. I don't think the LMGs are necessarily broken, but I do think they need some tweaking. I'll say that.
I think the AR and the spear are just so shit that people run the LMG, and it's annoying to play against, and therefore we hate it.
Annoying
Like,
probably is
how often do you bring Capital LMG? Like, let's think about the other, like, because the
How often do you bring
hypothesis you're making.
Capital?
I mean, yeah, but this is the hypothesis that is being made, and I think is the perfect segue into this segment, and you've worded it really well, is that is the LMG the problem, or is it the operators upon which have the abilities, or more in my case, the grenades, Gone 6 and stuff like that, the secondaries, and they also happen to also have an LMG upon which I can then be further oppressive as an operator, and therefore, wow, I take Finker a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I take a lot of Finker, so I'm loving the Finker. I'm loving the Gone 6, the grenades, and sometimes I take the spear. Sometimes I do take the. I know, but sometimes I take the spear. Sometimes I take the LMG. It depends how aggressive I want to get, etc. Whatever. And so, yeah, like, do I then think to myself, well, actually, Capital LMG is also going to be OP? No, I don't. I don't ever think that. Same with Zofia. I would go back to the M7 if it was fixed.
I just think LMG should slow you down,
especially with that DZ skin.
Yes. That is my biggest pet peeve. You were laughing about this. I bought one skin set, one esports skin set, and it was Dark Zero. And I cannot use their gun skin because I don't use that weapon.
It's pretty bad.
And I am pissed. I'm pissed because of that. You know what I mean?
I think Dark Zero is more pissed because that gun probably wasn't that bad when they got
right. I wondered when they decided.
I don't really care if the LMGs are OP. I just want weapons to make sense and have like a big difference, right? LMGs, give them 2 mags, make you 1 speed slower.
Yes.
Then when you come pre-firing around the corner, you have a slightly bigger chance to shoot back at them, or make it so an LMG just insta-locks you to a 1 speed, no matter what your speed is. You're just going to become a 1 speed.
Yeah.
And not get the HP buff by doing it, right?
All right. So let's say we do that. What about Amaru?
Then she becomes a 1 speed.
Oh, the G8.
Yeah.
Oh,
Amaru as a 1 speed is unbearable, and it doesn't fit. It doesn't. I think you have to give her a new gun. Give her a new gun.
Then give her an extra gun. IQ has 3. It's no problem.
Yeah. Give her.
It is legitimately a non-existing issue.
Yeah. Okay.
IQ has 3 guns.
Gun. Yeah.
Give her a different gun.
I agree.
I think you have to give her a different gun because I agree. I think that you give it. I think you do it like the shield. You give it a -1 speed multiplayer. I don't know how to word that. So if you have a shield, if you're a 2 speed like Blitz and you have a shield, it takes you down to a 1 speed, I guess would be the wording. And if you have an LMG and you're a 3 speed, you're now a 2 speed because you have that LMG. You want to go a step further?
Just knocking it down.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
No, everyone 1 speed.
Shields clock you down to the lowest speed in game automatically, right?
Well,
you used to have a recruit shield that doesn't exist anymore. Everyone gets clocked down to the absolute lowest speed.
That's not true though, because Blitz is faster than Monty.
Yeah.
But he can sprint.
Can Monty not sprint?
Yeah, but he lifts the shield.
So is that what it is? That Blitz is faster with his shield up? Is that how it works?
I think if they just
what?
next to
Okay, yeah. I think what it is that Blitz can sprint with his shield up, right? Is that what it is?
Yes.
And Monty can't. I know.
Monty has to unshield and he can sprint. Yes, he can.
Okay. So that's what it is.
Fuse wobbles around
like gotcha.
Fuse and Monty do the wobble, which is slow.
So
Blitz can, with his shield up, sprint.
So Monty and Blitz run at the same speed. The only difference is that Blitz is covered.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I kind of feel like he's a 2 speed, no?
I mean,
in my mind, he moves faster.
Blitz can also sprint while having his shield
up. Yes.
If we're talking about them just walking,
I'm picturing Monty sprinting because I've sprinted with Monty recently, and then I'm picturing shield up Blitz. That would be the same. That would be the same speed. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
I don't know, but if we place all of them next to each other, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
Right? Like they walk. Okay, Blitz might be slightly faster, but I don't think that matter. Like they can figure it out. Just turn down the speed if you have an LMG.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Literally.
Yeah.
LMG shouldn't be an entry weapon. That's my only pet peeve. And it's not some realism bullshit or some argument with, oh, you don't room clear with an LMG. I don't care about that. You just shouldn't have the guy with the most bullets be the one that walks in the room and blah, 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 blah.
Yes, I don't like that.
As a trade-off, would you be okay with LMGs opening hatches?
They can. So
I mean, a little bit more fluently.
Yeah, more like DMR style. Like I'm thinking like
No, okay.
bring a DMR then.
Does kind of remove some of that extra perk with the DMR.
I think
I'm just trying to think like, can we give them anything to like compensate for trying to?
Why do you want to have less of them and then also give them more?
I said I don't want a world in which they don't exist anymore. I want it to be a real choice. So, I'm just thinking, if we're going to take something away, if we're going to nerf them, is it possible that we could, is there any other area where we could give them a little perk that might, I don't know, make me feel a little bit warm inside?
100 bullets
without having to reload?
Yeah. That's and the ACOG on some of them, right? Like you have pretty good scopes available on
that's true.
The Think LMG. It's a kick-ass gun that does a metric fuck ton of damage. You have 100 bullets in it. Like,
I love this.
If changes is what does it, then maybe the gun isn't that good.
Honestly, Han in chat just said, like, just name one operator that isn't Fuse who, like, even needs an LMG. Like name one operator that needs an LMG.
Yeah, but well,
No, but like just as like a function of who they are, because Flank's trying to implement saying, well, actually, yeah, you would need it if you want to open a hatch, you want to do this, whatever. Like you trying to add purpose to the LMG. Currently, there's no quote unquote purpose to them. So if you're trying to add a incentive to bring the LMG, let's say you gave 3 guns to Amaru now, and one of them is the LMG, and she has to cost, effectiveness in her brain about whether she brings it or not. What is the reason she brings it? You're saying the bullet count? The bullet count is got to be the sure.
Well,
and sure. What we're saying is that into the future, let's say everyone moves at 1 speed with it. Is the cost benefit analysis of that then? She has more bullets, therefore I can fire for longer. Therefore, it supersedes everything else. Is that enough incentive to then take that over others? Because Flank doesn't want it to go. I also don't want LMGs to necessarily go. They've always been there, but not in the prominence that they are now. How do we find that middle ground? Because we're applying a nerf. Remember, we don't want to like take things away from it. We're applying a nerf by saying you're all 1 speed now when you're wielding the LMG, which I absolutely agree with.
The only reason we got there was because of gun 6 on Finca.
Yeah.
And because Sophia's gun rifle got nerfed. If that didn't happen, we wouldn't have seen LMGs like this.
What about more recoil like an LMG quote unquote should have?
No, because if anything, an LMG should have less recoil. It's a heavier gun shooting the same ammo. The recoil, no. Like guns you should be able to hit with guns, because it's like Ella Scorpion is not a good gun in the game. Neither is the SMG-12. The kills you get with them don't feel satisfying. They're luck half the time. We should be able to control recoil on weapon. Then fuck with something else. It's a shooter. It's really important that the gunplay is good.
Well, and that's what I'm asking, is that by moving the LMG wielders to that 1 speed, is it just now that they have a lot of bullets? Because I then think as a result of that, we would see a hugely diminishing usage of LMGs. We just go back to what we were before, and LMGs become maybe Capitao, maybe if you took a gridlock and you didn't want to take the F90. I love the F90 personally.
I don't know. Then don't make them a 1 speed. Make them lose 1 speed. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not important if it's go to 1 speed or lose one. The idea is that you get a movement penalty for having it.
Right.
Sure.
And then you fuck around with what the exact number should be. If it's 25%, if it's a full increment or whatever.
I would agree with that.
And then stop messing up all the rifles and all that stuff.
Yes, that's my most pet peeve about this whole thing, is we got to this point because we messed with other metrics that I didn't see as necessary as going as hard on. I didn't feel the need for that. I didn't see the need for that. Maybe I'm just seeing it through, my rose-colored glasses and going, these were fine. But I truly did not see, like, the M7s, like, why? Why did it have to have that much recoil? Why? Because people picked Sophia? Of course they did. You gave the game 58 shields with mirrors. I'm sorry I want to destroy them. Like, my bad.
Also, it was a good gun. Like, it was a nice and fun gun to play with.
It was never like R4C peak R4C. The 7.62 was never like a gun that was like that person just hit fired me because of fire rate from across the map.
Yes.
7.62 was fine. Yeah, F2.
That's good.
Yeah.
You also have to remember,
F2
like,
worse than it. I would say that.
Some guns have the extra benefit of having less pressure on the player that plays them. You have less responsibility. You're gonna get people that have better aim choose to go on those characters because they don't need to do other stuff. Their whole thing in game is to shoot. They need to have a good gun. That seems fair.
Yep.
Right? Like, the actual Ashe main, who is good at moving around the map and has good aim and is a good shot, is not gonna enjoy having a gun that just goes bleh on the wall. I don't think guns should be nerfed that hard. Like, Buck's gun is still one of the nicest ones in game.
It is nice.
When it comes to how it is with recoil, like, it has a lot of recoil. It's usable. It feels good. It has a good sound. Same with Mav's gun.
The M4. Oh my god. The one weapon I wish another operator had. I would just like give it to someone else.
The M4?
Yeah.
Especially now that it has black ice. Which, by the way, were you guys aware that every gun in the game has black ice now? Apparently, I thought
someone told me that wasn't true, but I don't know if that is true.
Some of them are only in alpha packs, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, I can't remember. Someone asked they're making a video or something about it where there was some in Bravo packs, but there was some missing in the Bravo packs as well. Yeah, Bravo packs has black ice skins. That's like
well, I mean, Bravo
thing.
packs is like the whole point is you get something new as well.
But there was some of the black ice skins that were missing in the Bravo packs.
Yes, like the Type 89 has black ice.
Okay.
Give it to me.
It does. Yeah, but it's only in alpha packs. Apparently, it's not available in Bravo packs. Which I made a video about this. I want to see what you guys think. My idea was, maybe we've talked about that. Stop me if we have. That when you complete the battle pass, if you have the premium tier of the battle pass, then the extra packs that you earn at the end will be Bravo packs. And the idea is that would cut down on smurfing because you would realistically be able to complete that collection every season if you played enough because there's no duplicates. So
I'm almost level 300 on the battle pass.
So you would have you would probably be really close, if not already completed that Bravo.
No one is a gremlin like you. No one is freak moding like you, bro. No.
Except for all the people that buy the battle pass and play against me every day.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there is enough people that I meet every day when I play, and they sure as fuck are spending the same amount of time.
Jesus. Well, you and 20 other gremlins in your basement.
I bought the first 100, right? I bought the first 100.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I get an alpha pack for every level. So
I'm scrunching my face up too, Flake. Don't worry. I was like,
wow. I didn't know we were in the presence of a baller over here.
You all wish you were as fresh as
I thought the only people that did that were pros because they're always in scripts.
That I had.
Yeah. So would you be in favor of that? Like, do you think? Okay, I heard one counter argument. I think it was from Han actually, that said, "Well, what if I want something in the alpha packs and I'm trying to earn that by earning?" So I think maybe a better way to do it is you earn an alpha pack every 5, you earn a Bravo pack every 10 levels after you complete the battle pass.
Yes, that was what I was going to say.
Here's my pitch. Here's my pitch, Ubi. You would sell more of the premium tiers of battle pass because now you've got a bigger value. You would cut down on smurfing because I want to, I would play on one account to try to complete that Bravo pack collection every single season. And 2, you might even sell more of the season passes because of how you complete this the battle pass tiers faster, and you get started at level 21 every single time. So I view this as a no-brainer. I'm not seeing the downside other than if I complete the battle pass or the Bravo pass collection next season, they're under the gun to have a new collection out.
Oh yeah, that's.
There is a lot. There's a lot of work that they're gonna have to do there to make new collections every single season. But I think it'd be worth it. You're gonna.
all the stuff in the collection aren't new stuff, right? Some of it is. So they
Some
just
of it
keep
is,
some
yep.
of it new, and then they could keep some of the leftover from the other one.
True.
But you're guaranteed not to get a duplicate. So I think the only problem is if it is likely that a certain percent are gonna complete the Bravo packs, then it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
So you want to have enough people getting something out of it, but not ever having people finish it completely.
Or at least,
there has to be something to choose.
At least not most people. You want it to be a grind to complete everything. Like you, for example, like you should be able to complete it. You know, if you're playing as much as you, but you wouldn't.
But on the other hand, like you still hit the like it's the way there that's the cool thing, right? It's not once you've got, because what if you completed, let's say, a month in?
Yeah, no.
Or what if it's too much? Like, and you also don't want to force people to, you have to play 8 hours a day or it cannot be completed.
Well,
so I'd rather have it be like a continuous long one where, let's say, every 10 or 15, 20 levels, but it is unlikely that you would ever actually fully complete it. Like, you
yeah.
get
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. And here's an idea for how they could throw new cosmetics in. What if they took things from the old battle passes and used them in the Bravo pack collection? If you're somebody who bought that battle pass, you already have it. You're not going to get a duplicate. It doesn't hurt you. But that would be an easy way for them to include new cosmetics into these Bravo pack collections over time.
If they do that and kick down on account selling, and the newer ranked 2.0.
Yeah.
Then there's a lot of reason to stay on one account.
Yep. I like
when
it.
they first introduced the battle pass, I reckon I tripled my hours on my main account compared to what I had before. I remember it very vividly and going, wow, this battle pass, I need to, 1, finish it, 2, I also want this. I remember 3D skins and stuff like you just wanted to have it. You, no matter what account it was on, you wanted to have it, and I didn't want to buy it. I wanted to grind for it, and I had like triple the amount of hours on my main account. I can remember it very vividly. And even now, you ask my friends, they'll be like, oh, Jess has to get on her main. We're going to get stream snipe because she's got to do the battle pass. I mean, now we got the privacy mode, so sweet. But, Jess has to get on her main. She has to do the battle pass. Like, I have to do it. The moment season comes out, I have to grind this battle pass, and I'm on my main as a result.
Yeah. And you're...
Well, I have... I have 221 games this season, right? And I am 230 on the battle pass, 260.
Starting at level 100.
Yes, I bought the first 100. So let's just say that it takes you around 150 games to get 100 levels in the battle pass with the boosters when you get those, because then you basically get 1 per game, 1 level. Let's just say it takes around 150 ranked games, because I played nothing but I've played like 3 deathmatch and no T hunt, no nothing. 150 ranked games per season is a substantial amount.
Yeah.
For most people.
Yeah.
So if we were to say that every 10 level after the battle pass you get 1 Bravo pack, I still don't think most people will complete it. So I think that would be a great idea.
No, I don't think so either. But it would reward those who are really grinding, and maybe it would keep a few people interested late in the season as well.
Also, don't let people buy the whole battle pass then.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I don't mind them allowing people to buy the whole battle pass though, because there's been moments where I'm just working so much and I'm like,
no, I'm with you. The same reason I do it. I like anything I can ever bypass. It's easier and cheaper for me to go and make money to pay for it than it is to sit down and grind it. If that was the case, like if I didn't do this for a living, if I was still doing construction, I would have bought everything that can make me bypass things that exist, because I'm not sitting down and grinding for it. And there's a really good incentive for them to say, but then just let me buy the stuff I want instead. Upcharge it and let me buy the stuff.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Instead of just filling the whole thing and then skipping, because right now the only reason I bought it is so I can start earning more alpha packs for the season. That's it. I'm trying to collect every skin in game, and it's never gonna happen, but I'm doing my best.
Pro League?
Oh yeah, Pro League's back. Pro League's back. With a bang, mind you. Skyscraper actually got played.
Yeah.
New
A lot.
maps.
You know, yesterday in AL League was pretty boring. It was a lot of chalet, but the first day we saw skyscraper, theme park, and yeah, we saw a lot of. We've seen a lot of map variety so far. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's good to see.
Astralis Sonics on skyscraper was the perfect explanation of why I despise that map now. It was just balcony play over balcony play.
Yeah, I honestly
Imagine if Outback
cry.
would have gone in instead of skyscraper.
I'm so sad at the
I know. I think we all are.
I hope that
Really.
map evolves a little bit because that was one of the first times where, like, I think it would have been a good game watching on any other map, but it was a little bit boring watching that. It was a bit too predictable. There was a few things, like, I watched it back on stream, and honestly, meh. It just wasn't fun or interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Heroic all one runs lasers on their gun, and I'm very happy about that.
So that whole laser argument,
love it.
blows my brain. Mind you, I don't play the roles or operators where like I always, obviously I'm playing laser, shotgun and everything. I play a lot of mute, I play smoke. Like, you know, like I'm playing operators where like, okay, like, but on attack, I would never run a laser, bro. Like, I know what I'm like. I know I'm going to put it on the door frame. I know I'm going to give myself away without a shred of doubt.
I think if we look at like probably 90% of fights, maybe 80% of fights, it's not like the defenders don't know that they're coming. And even if there's laser on the door, it just tells you that someone is aiming at that door. Most of the time, you know that every threshold you go through on defense, there's probably someone looking. Right? Otherwise, your info game kind of sucks a bit, or you're gambling a lot.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I never see people actually turn around to see if there's a laser on the room in the back behind them.
Yeah.
Right? So no one actually ever looks for it. It might be hovering on the edge of the door frame. But if you just throw it through the room, The bigger issue is if you're holding a little pixel, there's this actual like red glow.
Literally, if someone ADSs at the laser, all you see is that fucking laser, and you just shoot. You just shoot. So
I think that's the only downside. Like the dot on the wall doesn't matter. It's when you're holding a bullet hole or a punch hole or a gap in a shield or something where you could otherwise have gone unnoticed. There it kind of sucks. But when you're room clearing with like Yana with a laser and that thing, you can hit fire headshot people across the room every time.
I'll give it a go. Look, I can't have an opinion because I don't have tried and tested
I'm gonna show you a clip of hip fire laser.
Okay, I want to see it because if it does turn out that lasers, are coming back in and I can, I can have a little bit more fun with it, then I will give it a go only on attack. I'm not going to do this shit on defense that much because, I mean...
Yana's gun, Frost's gun, and a couple others are beam machines. You can shoot people in the head on strip up roof from server window. Fire reliably.
Whoa!
All right, well, I will try it. I will give it a go. I'll try the ARX, and I will even try a couple of the SMGs on defense, and I'll see. And if it is good, you'll convince me. You convince me to move to the laser.
I'm finding it right.
The laser lesion.
How did we get on lasers? Was it the team that was running them?
Yeah, Heroic was running running laser on like every gun, and it just made me happy because it's
I'll tell you
plenty of discussion with people saying, "Oh yeah, but they never run it in comp, so it can't be good."
I'll tell you what made me happy. 45K watching G2 versus Rogue.
Yeah.
45 on Twitch alone. And it looks like G2 is going to be solid. And that makes me so happy because they're just such a content machine over there. I want them to be relevant. That freaking Aruni share skin release video that they did. Holy shit.
Deletion killed it in that video. She killed that video. I did not expect her to be such an actress. And the way that they directed it, I loved it.
It was amazing.
I loved it.
Amazing.
I really loved that.
I mean, you guys know I'm a Dark Zero fanboy, but that release video was insane, and
it was really, really good.
Yeah,
but they are so good at that, though.
Exactly, and I just for our scene, I want G2 to be good. I want them to be relevant. I want them to be in the mix, and I think that. Well, okay, I think that EU is drawing significantly more viewership right now for EUL than what NAL is. NAL isn't bad. Like I think last night there was like 24,000 somewhere around there is where it was kind of hovering. But
I think the timing means.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
I mean, EU is of course much more fun, entertaining, better looking. Just generally.
Well, I feel like for EU, because of the time, both EU and NA have the opportunity to watch EUL. Yep. Whereas NA, it's only NA because it's too late for EUL.
Yeah, like we normally, like most of us, if we go to bed at a normal time, we'll be able to watch 2 games.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see a climb and then just a dip of the EU.
And especially with drops, I feel like it's very likely during the day that somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, EUL is one I can earn drops. I'll throw a tab up and go back to work or whatever and do my thing." So that
more importantly, it's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
I think whether there's, let's say, 15,000 or 20,000 or like, sure, it definitely matters because it's not going to work if there isn't enough people watching. People are seeming to enjoy it and talking about it again, which is good.
How's the attacker repick one? Anything of note there? Any? Well, here's what I'll say.
It was
not having
completely busted and boosted attacker win rate up to about 80%, and it should definitely be removed. As
Stop. I think the broadcast is so much more enjoyable without 6-pick, without reveal phase.
Right? You get straight into the mix, bro. You're just like, you're in. You're like, oh my God, they're already setting up. Actually, I feel sorry for the color casters because there's things that's ingrained in your head. Is you're like, I have this much time post to do the analysis of this. I can also break down at the end of this. And now it's like, oh shit, we're into the prep phase of the next round. I got to break down what they're doing. Oh my God, I have no time. I didn't even talk about that. I don't know how the color casters are adjusting, but shout out to you guys because it's going in a lot quicker and you lost your segment to talk about your shit, bro.
Yeah. The thing is when you notice them sit there and go, oh, so they're picking this lineup for this, and then the whole lineup, they're like, oh no, this operated because of this. Oh, it's changed. Fuck.
Yeah. It's great.
I really enjoyed it. It hasn't seemed oppressive, overpowered, or anything. Sure, on your clubhouse roam, there is a chance that the attackers are going to swap their. We just really haven't seen it to an extent where you're sitting there as a viewer going, "Oh my God, they didn't have a chance."
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen attacker repick just flop the game around for the attacker.
Has Goyo had an impact at all? I know you said earlier you haven't sin him pick much.
He's barely been played.
So do we think, like, hot take, do we think that's going to develop over time, or do we think Goyo is bad?
Nope.
I mean, to be fair, he's been picked like I think, let me check. I think EU he got picked a little bit. Not a huge amount, not like it's a starting lineup kind of thing.
Tiny amount.
Yeah, I think it says here he's been picked like 9.5% of the time in EU. I don't know if that'll change today or whatever. And then like in NA,
Well, it will change today. Because there's more games being played, so.
Oh, no, wait. Has he not been picked at all? Wait.
I know he was picked in NA at least once. I'm almost.
Well, maybe that's because it must be, if it's below 6.7%, which is the quote unquote lowest of like the picks, which is Pulse, then it doesn't show up on the graph for me. So it means he's been picked so less that it's like it doesn't show up on the graph.
And well, I mean, Pulse saw a little bit of a play on Skyscraper, Pulse shotgun.
So there you go.
And they were speedrunning the loss there.
So that's EUL only. Nobody's picking him in EUL. Or is that total?
NA was nothing. Almost nothing on the graph. But for EU, it's about 9.5%.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Which is a lot more than other regions. It's looking like. I'm just looking at all these regions here, and it just looks. Yeah.
I think we're gonna see him climb because he is.
Yeah.
He is good, and it's gonna take time for people to figure out what rooms, what areas. Those 20 seconds have the biggest impact in it. It's gonna take a ton of trial and error. But you're gonna use him as a roamer, and then pop the fires as you're like going back to slow the attackers down from chasing you. Or you're gonna have them on site and risk that a Twitch drone or fuse charge messes your whole shit up. Or like there's so many different little things you can do with it, right? You can put them on furniture that destroys the furniture and then burns up the default plant spots and stuff like that. It's gonna take time, But he's 100%.
I did your thing, Alex, where when they maverick the bottom, I shoot the go-yo. Chef kiss. Kiss.
There's nothing better than hearing Mav go,
Also, I checked every other region. Again, speculative here, but it's always EU that sort of tries to like set the meta in the world for the past few years, blah, blah, blah. They like to be the strategic ones. They have a 10% pick rate. Every other region, I can't even find the percentage pick rate in the world at the moment. So maybe EU is the first one to go. Go-Go works, and everyone looks at it and goes, Go-Go works, and then we see him slowly come back in. So maybe. But something that one of my friends noticed that we were watch partying NAL, that I have to point out about attacker repick, is that for some teams, it's actually botching them. It is actually not helping them. Like, they'll see, oh, it's bottom floor. I'm going to pick off of Habana and go Thermite, which Mom did on Mirage, for example. I don't know who's telling her to pick off the Habana and go Thermite, or pick off, like, not take Ace or whatever. She got impact tricked every round. Stop attacker repicking to the Thermite. You were killing my soul. Me and my friends sitting in the watch party are dying internally. You have to stop doing this. Attacker repick is actually fucking people. I'm not going to lie to you. Because they're redundancy picking the Habana for the hatches. And then attacker repicking over, and I'm like, girlfriend, you got to stop this. Like, Mom, I hope you know never to do it again, because it's not helping.
It's making a lot of people, you know when someone says, there's no one on site, we can just plant. Like, every time you hear that, it is almost always like the Ash Goblin thinking that because I don't see anyone on site, they couldn't possibly be having half the team below with C4, right? Like, it is clearly safe for us to go here. Like, I think attacker repick does that in a lot of teams where they see something and they're like, oh yeah, we can just swap here and it's going to be easy, right? Like, that it's massively going to help them. And I don't think that's always the case. I think what you've like tried and tested are more often than not the better way to go. And then sure, you can swap a little bit around. You can throw a buck in there if you're or going below anyway, and you know that you aren't going to need this and this thing. But when you see 3 operators change at the same time, I think that is almost always the wrong thing to do.
That's not a good sign, you would think. I mean, that's a huge shift. Speaking of Mirage on Bank, did you see the DZ match? I don't know which because they played Mirage. Mirage played at Bank twice. Did you see where they DZ set up a nitro cell and servers to
and then pop
shot
the hatch?
Yes,
that
was so cool.
We all screamed at that, bro, because we were like, you know what? The funniest part about it is that how many impact tricks we'd seen on the quad ball and everything like that. And then I was like, well, you don't even have to change it because it's working. Like, these motherfuckers aren't even like adapting to the fact that you're impact tricking. And I'm like, okay, this is so stupid. You could just keep doing this and get away with it. Like, what are they going to do? Like, and then I thought, no, you don't tell me they have another trick up their sleeve. Like, the shit they're doing is already working. They didn't even have to pull this out of the pocket flanked. They didn't even have to show anyone that this was in their pocket, because the other stuff they were doing was already working. And they went, you know what? We care about winning so much that in case you've brought a nade to counter us doing this, or a flash or whatever, or a stun, we will fuck you up from below. And I was like, you know what? Bless you for having 17 different redundancy plans for this one wall, because the other team couldn't get into sight. They couldn't even open up a line of sight. That is how oppressive that shit was, and I live for this shit in Siege. I am clapping internally every time I see stuff like this. I'm like, I'm living, let's go.
I think that the impact tricking sets that up, because as an attacker, like, you can get around impact tricking, but it's a little bit personnel exhaustive. Intensive. Yes. If you got to kind of stack people up there.
Dangerous.
Yeah. And so stacking people up on that wall to counter the impact tricking is what led to getting the kill plus the down on the nitro cell. And it was so cool to see. So good.
I honestly, when I saw that, I was just like, it breathes fresh air into the game, because we're now seeing things as they should be. We now get to see actions and reactions happen in a game that is not, I destroy shield, I nade here, I do this, I blah blah blah. We're going off script. Mm-hmm. We're going off the script we already knew, and now we suddenly can enjoy innovation and creativity on a level that we didn't friggin' have before. And I hate agreeing with Alex, because Alex is a dickhead, and we should all put him on the podium of #1 dickhead in the world. But if this mother effer wasn't
the world's
correct,
top players, like Zeronic,
If
All right, sorry,
he
continue.
wasn't correct however many months ago, and still to this day, that innovation creates excitement and we get to see new things, lo and behold, the man was right, and here we are, and I am screaming at a screen, enjoying Siege for the first time in a long time. So, congratulations, you are right. I was semi-wrong, but partially right. So
You were kind of right.
partially right. I was partially right.
I really like that we now start seeing teamwork instead of just people following a checkbox.
Yes.
Like, the checkbox is really admirable. The first 10 times you see like Empire do everything, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, perfect.
And it
You're
looks
sitting there thinking,
smick,
wow,
sure.
this is amazing. But when the counter then becomes another team doing dong, 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 and every game becomes that, it just gets boring as all hell. Like, I
Yeah.
want to see chaos and teams really coming up with new stuff on the fly to fix things and like throw new operators and have an insane game plan, of course, right? But don't do don't just follow a script every single time. I have a hot cutoff in 3 minutes.
You do.
Right.
You do.
We can wrap it up. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Final thoughts are, one, Pro League is exciting to watch, especially now that I get to be a viewer. I see it through a different lens as well, which is super nice. Maybe that's refreshing. Maybe I'm in a honeymoon period. We'll see. But you guys seem to be agreeing.
No, it is refreshing.
Good. So you guys seem to agree. So it definitely
one.
reinforces. Yeah. Secondly, I am like allowing myself to solo queue ranked without being annoyed that I'm losing because I'm enjoying the rounds upon which I am playing. Wow, magical. Can you believe that you can enjoy ranked solo queue? Even though the teammates are doing absolute trash stuff. Like, I'm telling you, that my teammates need some assistance, don't know how they're in the rank, but it's fine. But I'm enjoying it because I get cool interactions. There are so many good things. Fix the HUD, fix the 4-3 HUD, and maybe come up with conversations about the LMG, and I will keep playing and streaming your game. It is literally that simple, and I am a huge critic of things.
There should be a sound patch out right as we're speaking, actually.
Yeah.
Literally, the sound should be fixed.
Let's see if it's better. I fucking hope it is.
Sure.
It was rough.
Yeah.
And I normally don't complain about sound because I think.
Correct. Yeah.
It was rough this season.
Yep. As I said, didn't hear the diffuser, costed a round, would have won that game. It flowing butterfly effects.
Sprint, like full sprint, no audio.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
You just see Yannick come.
Fingers crossed that in our next Logic Bomb, we are talking about how the sound fixes fixed it. And now our only problems are us bickering like old men and women about LMGs and I don't know.
I'll see you in a year.
God, hopefully our next Logic Bomb might be pretty boring, Flake. So
never with us. Never with us.
That's true.
We'll do an operator tier list if we have to draw from the bucket or something. I don't know.
Sure.
That should be interesting.
Sure.
All right. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate it. Zrog's gotta go. We gotta go. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.